Hi everyone, my name is Christiana and today I'm here with Brianna and we are going to
Hi.
be talking yes, and we're going to be talking all about her life, mental health, and everything that has been going on. And I firstly want to say that I started Teenage Mental Love because I noticed how much this generation that are teenagers and even everyone else of course needs like someone to show like you're not alone, your love, like someone is always there for you. And I feel like that was really lacking, especially during this time. So I really hope you guys enjoy this interview, and I'm going to link all of Brianna's social media down below, her Instagram, her TikTok, and her YouTube channel. And I really hope you guys enjoy, and we're going to jump right in. Yes. So first I wanted to ask you, how are you doing mentally right now at this time?
I'm actually doing pretty well. This past month,
Yeah.
if you don't know, I recently turned 18,
Yeah.
and turning 18 comes with a lot of responsibilities. Let me tell you.
Course, yeah.
So as soon as I turned 18, I kind of started freaking myself out. But then I got a few friends together, and recently we've been hanging out, and I've just been like, I don't know, I've been really happy hanging out with people and stuff.
Yes, that's amazing. And also, turning 18, like, I know that's such a huge milestone and so many changes can happen. And I wanted to ask you what that was like, turning 18 or reaching that age and such.
It's like it's got its good side and its bad side.
Mm.
It's okay. It's really fun to be 18 because you can do like a bunch of things. You're an adult. You're free.
Yes.
But then it comes with responsibilities like bills and just like having to become an adult so quickly. Um, so it's been a roller coaster, but I'm
Mhm.
getting through it.
Wow, that's amazing. I really do love that for you. And also, when it comes to like growing up and such, and growing up in a certain environment, I wanted to ask you, what was your life like growing up, or have you ever experienced anything, with like mental health while you were growing up?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I mean, growing up, I was like, I don't know if a lot of people have gone through this, so it's nothing like
Mm.
super crazy. But like growing up in like middle school, elementary school, all of that, I was like bullied
Oh,
nonstop. It was
wow.
constant. And one thing that helped me get through that was like YouTube and stuff, and watching other
Mm.
YouTubers,
Yeah,
and like making my own YouTube videos.
of course.
So I know like there's like a lot of things where it's like people say social media is so bad for you. It's so. And I mean I agree. There are some bad parts to it, but then there's like good parts that help you like become healthy mentally. And just yeah, I mean I didn't go through anything drastic. I did
Mm.
get through most of my childhood like with mentally. Some people were more unlucky than I was, getting things like depression and anxiety and stuff. And I do have anxiety sometimes. I have social anxiety
Mm.
and ADHD as well. And ADHD, oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
They made things really stressful in
Oh,
elementary school, but I did manage to get through it. So
mm. That's
I can't
amazing.
say that my childhood was terrible because
Yeah,
I did manage to get through it. And some people aren't as lucky as that.
that's true.
So I think I did pretty well growing up.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. And I love what you said, like, it's still, something that you went through, and I completely understand what you mean.
Mhm.
And also, when it comes to like going through those things in your life, did you ever have anyone like family, special friends who were always there for you, like, always supported you?
Yeah, I mean, my family has always been there for me. Mainly, my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
My parents like try and kind of work me through it, but they don't really understand like the whole social media
Yeah,
thing and all
yeah,
that. And of course, I have this best friend named Emily and another best friend named Thomas,
yeah.
and they've been with me since the beginning, like
Wow,
very
yeah.
beginning. So they've always been there to support me.
Oh, that's amazing. And I really love that you said that because I know like so many people during this time don't have that support system with them, and it can be really hard for them. So I'm really happy that you have that. And, when it comes to having like friends and family and going through those things, I wanted to ask you also, do you have any like outlets or hobbies? Because I saw you were like kind of into modeling, especially on your TikTok. And do you have like an outlet or hobby that you like do when you're going through a hard time?
Well, I mean, YouTube is definitely something that's a hobby of mine. I've
Mm,
actually been trying to like discover that recently
yeah,
because with COVID and stuff
of
and
course.
quarantine, you've kind of like lost touch, or I have personally lost
Mm.
touch with myself, if that makes sense, just a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah,
And I've kind of forgotten what my hobbies are because I haven't been able to experience them.
yeah.
But a few things that I have noticed that I've gotten a liking to are, like you said, modeling. I love modeling. It's just something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
Photography, I kind of use that as like a coping mechanism for
Mhm.
whenever I'm like feeling not myself. Um, I I actually used to do horseback riding, but that's not really a thing right now. So,
Yeah.
and dancing is another one.
Mm.
I'm just really into dancing.
Yes.
I don't know why, but
No, I completely understand. Yeah, of course, and that's really great. I love that. And you said on YouTube, and also like I said on your TikTok. And I wanted to say, when it comes to like doing those kinds of outlets or like using that as a hobby, I know like it can come with like the toxic side. Like you said,
Mhm.
social media has so many benefits, but it also has the toxic side of it. And I wanted to ask, like, when doing those things, do you ever feel like, it can be overwhelming, or like, or do you ever go through something where like the comments are unnecessary or rude, and how do you push through that?
Yeah, I get those all the time. Mainly the kind of comments that I get are things to do with, I don't know if you've heard about it, but the SAKS channels.
Yeah,
It's a group of collab channels that I was on. I get comments about that all the time, and they can be very just overly toxic,
of
overly
course,
toxic,
yeah.
and then get way out of hand. But the way I cope with that is just, well, I know it sounds easier said than done, but I just ignore them.
Mhm.
Um, and also I talk to friends about it, and then they kind of back me up on it. One thing I've learned is to never respond to the comments, just because it just makes them, like, it makes the entire situation 10 times worse. So it really is best to ignore it, but I know that's like easier said than done. So I'd find a friend to like talk to about it and just kind of rant about it.
Yes, and I love that. I really do. And I know it's like crazy when you think about it, because like, usually you would expect people to be respectful about certain things, or, just not comment at all. And then when you see those kinds of things, it's kind of shocking, because it kind of makes you lose hope in like the generation, the society. But then, of course there are the good comments too. And I wanted to say, when you have like a community of people who follow you, and like and look at what you post, and like follow up with you, and I wanted to ask you, what was that like when you started growing a community of people?
I mean, it's just kind of like it's definitely it's got good parts and
Yes.
stuff. It's good overall, but like yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how to explain that.
Of course, yeah,
It's
no.
really hard to explain.
Yeah, but because I know like it's like for some people like it can really be life changing. The people who follow them and like keep up with their stuff that they post and such, and support everything that they come out with, and
Yeah.
like it can really help them mentally. And that's
Yeah.
why I love that, because I see on some of your TikTok videos, like all of them actually, people who follow you and support you, and their comments are just so uplifting, and I really love
Yeah,
that.
it's great,
Yeah.
especially on like Instagram and stuff. Like on TikTok, I'll get like just random like comments of like I don't know if you've heard the phrase Heather.
Yeah,
And
yes,
people like always do. They're like it's so sweet. It always makes my
yes.
heart melt. And they're just like, oh my gosh, you're a Heather. And I'm
Yes.
like, stop.
Of
It's just
course.
I love the most the people that are in the comments. Of course, there's haters, but like all the other comments just drown them out.
Of course, that's amazing, and I love that too, because when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, see, like you don't always have to focus on the negativity, but of course, like you said, easier said than done, much easier said than done, and I really do love that what you said,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said earlier about your modeling, and I wanted to ask you, is that something that you're passionate about, or like want to do in the future?
It was something that I wanted to do in the future. I don't know if it's quite possible right now, just
Yeah.
because there's this whole thing with modeling. Like I always wanted to do runway model.
Oh, yeah.
And being a shorter person,
Oh,
you can't really do it because they have this like 5'6" height minimum or something, and I'm 5 feet tall.
wow, wow.
Yeah, I'm short, so it's not really a possibility. But
Yeah.
while I was younger, I definitely wanted to do modeling. Like it was, I joined like 3 different modeling agencies trying to like get my name out there, and it didn't really work out. But doing social media has definitely helped me out with that. And I'd like to do cover modeling. It's
Oh,
definitely something that I'd make like a job if I could.
yes, that's amazing. And is there anything else that you're like passionate about, for the future, other than modeling?
Acting. I've
Oh,
always wanted to be an actress,
yes.
like since I was really little. I remember I did have this want to be a singer when I was younger, and I'm starting to get back into that,
Yeah.
but it's just not something I'm super passionate about. It's mainly the acting and modeling kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely understand. And also, when it comes to like acting, I know some people like it can be a really like mental breather, if that makes sense. Like they step into a character, and it's almost like they're they can be away from their everyday life for a little bit. And I wanted to ask you, like, is that something that you feel like can really help you when it comes to mental health, or like feel like an escape sometimes?
Yeah, I think definitely it can work as an escape, but
Mm,
you also want to be careful with it just
mm,
because if you do it too much, you'll get stuck in that escape and then you'll
yeah.
wind up building a wall
Of
to where you
course.
don't act like yourself.
Of course. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's really wise. Yes, and you're so right with that. Yeah. Yes. And also when it comes to YouTube, that's something that you believe that you're going to do in the future?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I've
wow.
been passionate about YouTube since I was 8. Like I was young, and I got started when I was like 11, and I've
Mhm.
just been passionate about it ever since.
Yes.
I'm actually currently trying to find my kind of content style. I used to like make kid style videos, but I'm kind of growing out of that.
Mm, yes.
And I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm trying to like start doing vlogs more,
Mm,
just
yeah.
because I'm more myself in my
Of
vlogs.
course. Of course.
So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yes, I definitely yes, and I saw your recent vlog too, and all your videos like a day, a day in your life and such, and they're really good. So I really love that, of course. And I wanted to ask you more about like a serious-ish question, so I hope this is okay. Um, when I first found your channel, I found it 2 years ago, and then again I saw because I grew up watching SAKS and Seven Supergirls, so then one day I see that the entire thing has disappeared, and I was kind of like, whoa, what happened? But I always heard like little rumors flying around, and then I saw your video, and that video was just like it was shocking. Like I was moved to tears, and I was really sad, and I hope it's okay if I ask, like, I wanted to ask you, like, how did you push through that mentally? Because that is something that's so, like, impactful.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I have my friends. Like I said, my
Yeah.
best friend Emily, she is basically my therapist.
Mm,
She's
yeah.
gotten me through most of it. And once again, YouTube. It's kind of like the whole bullying topic, except way
Yeah.
worse, obviously. Um, it was just kind of like I don't really know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely am still kind of going through the motions of it. Like that, I never like did therapy or anything, just because I'm kind of scared of that.
Oh,
Because I like did it once as a kid when I had ADHD, and it just kind of made me feel like I was like crazy.
yeah.
So definitely, I think the one thing that got me through it was having a support system, which is my best friend Emily,
Yeah.
and having her to talk to about it or her
Yeah.
to back me up has definitely been my number one.
Of course. Wow.
And
Yes. And I wanted to say again, you're really strong, and I really believe that you're really strong, and that video really moved me. And I wanted to also ask you, when there's like a day where you feel really overwhelmed, or like it's like hard to manage. Is there any like anything that you do that really makes you leave that? Because I know you do acting, YouTube, everything. And is there anything like you do especially that like really helps you through a hard day?
and this is gonna sound like really cheesy, I guess, but I take hot showers.
Yes, yes.
Sounds weird, but it does help.
Yeah,
And then another thing is I go out, like me and my mom will just
yeah,
take a day,
yeah.
and like sometimes you're not always able to do that. So if we can't have a day where we can just go out,
Mm.
I will actually make TikToks, but specifically POVs,
Yeah,
like you said, acting.
yeah.
POVs are acting, so I kind of
Yeah.
use that as like a distraction
Of
almost.
course. Wow. And that's really unique. And it's kind of crazy how like TikTok was first like, made fun of. And then now it's like
Mhm.
somewhere that's an escape for a lot of people. And I really
Yeah.
do love yeah, and I really do love everything that you said about that. And I wanted to, in addition to that, I wanted to also say, when it's like, especially during this time, I know a lot of people can, feel lonely or feel like they're all alone. And,
Mhm.
was this time like hard for you, especially, not being able to continue with a normal everyday life?
Yeah, well, kind of to a point. I actually used to live somewhere else. I lived there for 3 years. I lived here originally
Yeah.
growing up,
Yes.
but then I had to move away, and I moved for 3 years, and I like
Mm.
made a huge group of friends, and then all of a sudden, like the thing with the SAKS channels
Oh.
happened,
Mm.
and I had to move back home to where I knew nobody.
Wow.
So when COVID happened and quarantine and all that
Yeah.
kind of became a thing,
Yeah.
it almost was like a normal for me because
Mm.
I didn't really have any friends here,
Yeah.
and I'm just now starting to make friends, which is kind of crazy because it's during this whole pandemic. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's bringing us together a little bit.
Yes. Yes.
So it was kind of like normal, but then it started like getting a little extravagant, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It was to a point. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was very crazy, and just like I know like VidCon and a bunch of like events got canceled
Yeah.
during this pandemic, and that was like the one thing I was looking forward to
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was going to meet up with my online best friend Emily for VidCon, and then it got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like a mix.
I completely understand. Yes, and I like you said, events like VidCon. I remember Playlist Live happened right before this started, and then Coachella was another huge thing that was canceled as well, and even Halloween Horror Nights. But it's been a crazy time, and for a lot of people. And I wanted to ask, do you have any like advice for anyone who's like struggling during this time, or like going through something, or even where they were bullied when they were younger, but it's hard for them to pass that state of mind where they feel inferior or they feel like they're hated on?
I definitely think the one thing that's helped me that I think would help others is finding that person that because like people can always like if you have like that one person you can talk to, um, it definitely helps. It definitely lifts a weight off your chest. So if you find that one person, whether it's and all of my people, like the people that I talk to, they're all online. They're not in person, so you don't have to go out
Yeah.
and meet somebody new at like a
Right.
restaurant or like be a complete extrovert or anything.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like a mix of an extrovert and introvert, so I completely get it. Um, so just like find somebody that you can talk to, whether it's online or on TikTok. I mean, TikTok is like the main place to find like new friends.
Of course.
So find somebody that you can really like let yourself out to and like talk to and just really get it off your chest.
Definitely, of course, of course. And I lastly wanted to say, when it comes to mental health and, going through so much, or, trying to push through all those things, are there ever times where you feel like, you just wish like you could have had like a different, I don't know, a different experience or a different environment? Do you ever feel like that, it was too much for you? Or do you ever feel like, you wish you could not be in the situation that you were in?
Yeah, I mean, there's some times where I think about that, and then I just tell myself, I'm like, if that wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't be where I am today.
Of course, of course.
So, because like everything happens for a reason, I like live by that, and I definitely do believe it, and that's one thing that gets me through a lot of things. I should have said that earlier, but like that motto just kind of fixes my brain to like think like don't like overthink this thing that happened.
Yeah.
Just think about how that thing made this good thing.
Of course.
So I think about that all the time.
That's amazing. That's really great. I absolutely love that. And again, like I said, you're really strong. And even going through something like bullying, that's like very, 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 very emotional. And I wanted to say your advice was wonderful and amazing. I wanted to lastly ask you, are there any stories that you ever hear? Of course, I don't want to, breach of privacy, but like, are there any stories that you ever hear that, really impact you, or like kind words, from people that really make your day? And how does that affect you mentally? Like, someone, you know, showing support or coming out and reaching out to you. How does that really impact you in your life?
It definitely has a huge impact. I get like DMs on daily, like at least one DM a week. That's a whole entire paragraph of somebody just talking to me about how they were moved by the whole thing that happened with the SAKS channels and how it made them come forward and talk about their experience. And like I've also gotten like just like even though I have nothing to do with like coming out and stuff, I've had people come out to me about their sexuality, for example, and just like ask for my advice about like talking to their parents and stuff.
Yes.
And it's so weird because like it's a good weird though. It's weird that people like can look at me as like almost like a support system, you know? Because like I just could never imagine that. But it definitely moves me and it makes me feel like I don't know, a good person. Like it definitely makes me feel like a better person.
Yes, yes, of course. And I wanted to say that honestly, yes, like I really love that people come to you because you're really strong, you're really brave, and your advice is really wise. And that's really amazing that people are, always coming out or reaching out like once a week is wonderful. And I just wanted to lastly say that anyone out there who's struggling, just please know that you're not alone. There's always someone who's there for you. And I'm just one DM away on Teenage Mental Love, and I know that, Brianna's page, it's so inspirational. She's so supportive. And like, if you ever need someone who's like, to, just rant to or talk to or open up to, Brianna's amazing. And anyone, like, it's honestly, I know how stressful life can be, especially during this time. Some people have moved to new schools, and then now they have no friends, and now school is not even back in session, if that makes sense, but it's online. And I know it can be really stressful for a lot of people, so I just hope that anyone who watched this, that you enjoyed it. And I had a wonderful time speaking with Brianna today. And again, thank you so much for watching, and please know that you're strong, and you can do anything that you put your mind to. And thank you again.